Today, we're diving deep into something really special, the founder mindset. We're going to break down the playbook for thinking differently, for seeing the world in a way that drives innovation and, well, builds the future. And this quote, it just nails it. This is the absolute core of what we're talking about. It's not just about starting a company. It's about having the audacity to look at something everyone says is impossible and going for it anyway.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with that initial spark. Then we'll get into the mental rewiring you need to do. After that, the practical, hands-on playbook. And finally, we'll talk about what it really takes to run the marathon and win in the long run.
All right, let's kick things off at the very beginning, that spark. This is all about learning to see the world a little differently, to spot those hidden opportunities that most people just walk right past. This is such a great way to see the difference. A traditional business person looks at an existing market and asks, okay, how can I get my piece of that pie? But an entrepreneur, a founder, starts from a totally different place. They ask, what's a real problem people have? And then they go out and create a whole new pie. And that's what we mean by thinking bigger. It's not about being just a little bit better. It's about creating something that's 10 times better. It's that 1 + 1 = 11 kind of thinking. Think about what founders like Ambani or Vijay Shankar Sharma did. They didn't just compete. They completely changed the game. That's the exponential vision we're talking about. Okay, so you have this huge idea. That's awesome. But the idea is just the start. Now we've got to talk about the mental game, which is all about rewiring your brain. Because honestly, a brilliant vision means nothing if you don't have the mental toughness to see it through. Resilience is, it's non-negotiable. This isn't just about being tough. It's a complete reframing of what a challenge is. When something goes wrong, and it will, resilience is what allows you to see it, not as a failure, but as priceless data that's guiding you toward what will work. And this visual just says it all, right? The obstacle mindset sees failure as a dead end, a stop sign. The game's over. But the founder mindset, it sees a stepping stone. It sees a source of data. It understands that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of the journey to get there. So when we talk about embracing uncertainty, it's not just, being okay with it. It's about thriving in it. It means understanding that you won't have all the answers up front. And that's the point. The real learning, the real innovation happens in that messy, uncertain space. The map gets drawn as you go. Okay, mindset is locked in. Now let's get tactical. This is the practical step-by-step playbook for taking that big vision out of your head and turning it into something real that people actually want and will pay for. This is the core loop. It's so simple, but so powerful. Start with a real problem. Get a version of your solution, even if it's messy, into the hands of your first 10 customers. Then, and this is crucial, listen to everything they say, especially the harsh criticism. That's your roadmap. Then you just iterate, refine, and repeat. As you start to grow, things can get crazy. You have to keep your focus laser sharp on just these 3 things: product, people, and purchasing. Is your product amazing? Do you have the right people on the bus? And do you truly understand the customer's buying process? If any one of these legs on the stool gets wobbly, the whole thing can come crashing down. This is a trap so many new founders fall into. They get bogged down with complex legal structures way too early. The truth is, you don't need to build a skyscraper on day one. Start simple. A sole proprietorship is often the fastest, easiest way to just get going and see if your idea even has legs. All right, last part. Let's talk about the long game. Because a great idea and a solid playbook, that just gets you to the starting line. Real, lasting success isn't a sprint. It's absolutely a marathon. And this is the reality nobody likes to talk about. We see the big win, the success story, but what we don't see is everything that's lurking below the surface. The rejections, the setbacks, the moments of pure doubt. Every single great success story is built on a massive foundation of no. Just let that sink in for a second. Airbnb, a hospitality giant, was rejected over and over. Cisco, a company that literally helped build the internet, same story. This isn't some feel-good story. It's literally how the game is played. Persistence isn't just a nice quality to have, it's an essential strategy. But look, that persistence has to work against the clock. This is what they call the startup runway. You've generally got about 6 to 12 months to get some real validation, to prove you're onto something big. After that window, finding the fuel to keep the plane in the air gets a whole lot harder. And that really brings it all home, right?
This isn't a class you take for a semester. It's a journey. You have to believe in where you're going, even when the path is rocky and the finish line seems miles away. That persistence, that belief, is everything. So look, the big takeaway here is that this founder mindset isn't some magic you're born with. It's a playbook. It's a framework you can learn and apply. The path is actually pretty clear. The only question left is, what problem are you going to solve?